Welcome to It Ain't Rocket Science. I'm Adam Balkin. In today's show, we will take a look at the ups and downs of Newtonian physics. We will witness the spark of innovation at the Intel International Science Festival, and we're going to take you to Mars. But don't worry, we'll have you back in about a half hour. Now, you may be wondering where I am, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But first, our Rochelle Boone takes us to New York City for the latest installment of the World Science Fair.
Hi, Adam. There were 50 events over the course of 5 days, and one of those events was held here at Brooklyn Bridge Park, where science was brought to life for young people and adults.
Black holes, robots, and quantum levitation.
Is that a magnet?
Kids came from across New York City to check out these experiments at several locations during the World Science Festival. One was the reimagination of the myth of Icarus by physicist Brian Greene. In the original myth, Icarus builds wings out of wax to escape from Minotaur's maze, and his curiosity brings him too close to the sun. But in this story, Icarus mans a spacecraft and flies right into a black hole. Kids leaving the event were able to describe in detail what they learned.
A black hole is a compressed star.
And it became like this object that makes a really deep dent in the fabric of space. And it looks black because it even draws light into it. And if you go too close to a black hole, you'll get the force of the black hole will be too strong for you to pull away from.
In the original myth, Icarus's wings melt and he falls to his death. But in this story, Greene decided the hero should live.
As a scientist, the thing that we are taught and the thing that we recognize all the time is you've got to go against what everybody tells you if you're gonna have an impact, if you're gonna make a breakthrough. You don't die, you may change the world, and that can be painful, but that's what pushing the envelope of understanding is all about.
Kids also got the chance to check out robots of all shapes and sizes and the mystery of quantum levitation in Innovation Square at the Polytechnic Institute of New York University.
My science classes, we don't work with robots.
So to keep the tether small,
So this is my first time ever seeing one of these, and I think it's pretty cool. I like how it moved. It went like this, and then it's like, ooh, and then it kept on going up.
Organizers of the event say it's about making science real for kids.
I think the main point is that science isn't just textbooks and things you read, but it's cool stuff that you do and you imagine and you can do with your hands, and you can use the technology that you're familiar with, like smartphones, and also just your body.
One thing's for sure, these kids will leave with an experience they will never forget. In New York City, I'm Rochelle Boone for It Ain't Rocket Science.
Now, the World Science Festival wasn't the only place for exploring science. In Charlotte, North Carolina, the Moorhead Planetarium hosted some middle school students who gained a greater appreciation for their place in the universe. Our Johnny Chappell explains.
Water makes up 70% of the Earth's surface. Some scientists think it makes up 70% of our bodies. So water's pretty important stuff. And some after-school instructors in Chapel Hill are teaching kids about water and other stuff in some pretty unique ways. The Moorhead Planetarium after-school program delivers more than just a hands-on science lesson.
Well, I really like science a lot, and it's fun.
UNC Chapel Hill students pick up and deliver the kids with the help of public transportation to the planetarium. While there, they do all kinds of cool stuff.
Really cool, because, well, I can't think of a reason though, but yeah, I'm really cool.
On this day, 4th and 5th graders are using small, Lego-like programmable computers to design a mini golf course. 2nd and 3rd graders are experimenting with pressure and water by shooting bottle caps. Kindergarten and 1st graders are launching water rockets, also answering questions about water pressure.
Science is all about questioning, in my mind. So I think if you ask a question, then you're a scientist. And really, I just want to have them know that asking a question, looking into the question, and maybe finding out that you're wrong is okay.
There's nothing wrong or boring about these experiments.
I learned how to We wrote fake volcanoes and learned about geology and outer space too. Dinosaurs lived about 144 million years ago, and there are many theories of how the dinosaurs got wiped out.
The kids get to test and prove their own theories, making science stretch seamlessly into after-school time. So next time you've got a question about how water works, ask the kids at the Moorhead after-school program. For It Ain't Rocket Science, I'm Johnny Chappell.
Now, sitting in a classroom and talking about the laws of gravity is one thing, but seeing them in action is entirely different. So let's take a look at how witnessing the laws of nature can leave a lasting impression.
Instead of only learning from textbooks, Eastside Elementary students got to learn science hands-on with a Farmers Insurance hot air balloon.
This makes school fun because you get to see how things work at school. You study gravity and you get to see how it actually works instead of just looking on a piece of paper. It makes school more fun because of the activities and stuff.
As they see this, and later on some of them will be able to come up and feel the envelope and feel the basket, and they'll see the flames. It's going to generate questions, and that curiosity factor will hopefully lead to them doing further research.
There are many aspects of science that can be learned from a hot air balloon.
Why does it inflate? What does air do? How does it not burn? And so it's just a tremendous, you can see from the background, the kids love this. It's just so exciting. Every kid loves a balloon, but to be up close like this to a hot air balloon is awesome.
The highlight of the event was a duplication of Galileo's famous experiment in which he dropped a small and large rock from the Leaning Tower of Pisa to see which would land first. But to add excitement to the experiment, food was used.
They're gonna drop a watermelon and a tomato and see which one falls the fastest from gravity pulling them down. It's basically the Galileo project.
So what did students think would hit the ground first? If they drop a watermelon and a tomato, what do you think is gonna fall first?
The watermelon, most likely watermelon.
How come?
Because it's heavier than the tomato. The watermelon because it's heavier. Probably the watermelon because it weighs more. And then the tomato will come down next.
But these kids were surprised to find out that heavier objects don't fall faster.
With Galileo's experiment, I think most people would see the heavier object and they think that would fall first. But in fact, it's not. They fall the same level. And that has to do with the surface area.
In Ohio, it's a little more up close and personal as students take the laws of gravity into their own hands using medieval catapults and trebuchets to take a swing at Newtonian physics.
It may look like they're preparing for battle, but it's all part of the big spring fling put on by the Past Foundation in Columbus, Ohio, to exercise students' science, engineering, and math skills.
The kids are building catapults. They're building trebuchets. That's science. That's pure Newtonian physics.
Inventing is fun. You get to come up with your own design, own product, on whatever you want to do. It's new, it's yours, no one's ever thought about it.
Student teams designed and built their flinging machines, bringing them together to see whose mechanical arms could throw the farthest. But students quickly realized that tossing their balloons and fruit took more than planning. It took a good measure of trial and error.
When you launched the arm or the sling for our first time, the sling fell off and then the arm was going sideways and the lock was coming off. So every time we build something complete, we have to go back and modify, revise everything.
We didn't really study the trajectory like physics-wise. Once we had it going and stuff, that's when we made the minor adjustments and could figure out where the arm had to hit, how the pivot point was.
Organizers say the opportunity to be creative and innovative in their design is one of the biggest benefits of the event.
I can look at their machines and see the modifications they made from one year to the next. And so that's been really spectacular because the kids had the opportunity to tweak the designs, to think about what would work and what didn't work and why.
These catapulting students, they may be on their way to launching future careers in the sciences. I'm Shazia Khan for It Ain't Rocket Science.
Coming up, we will take you out of this world. Well, not quite. The surface of Mars, the red planet, here on Earth. We'll explain when we return.